An Indy Deathmatch was stopped due to a shocking injury. Jeff Hardy has pleaded not guilty to DUI charges, and a WWE Hall of Famer has made their backstage return. Find out who it is in a bit. We're kicking things off in this one with some rather gruesome news. And that was that a GCW match was stopped last night due to just a heinous injury. It was just... there's no other way to describe it. We'll get into it. So last night they presented Death on Arrival, featuring a death match between Hoodfoot and Slade. And it was just mere minutes into that match that Hoodfoot took a light tube to the arm and got badly cut open. The referee attempted to stop the blood flow by taping Hoodfoot's arm, but was forced to stop the match. Now, the way it went down, I think you've seen the video. I caught it just before as well. Slade's kind of got the light tubes right, and then he hands one to Hoodfoot.
Yeah, he breaks one on his knee and then hands like one stick of it to Hoodfoot.
Yeah, so they've each got a jagged-ended bit of fluorescent tube.
Yes, and then they just start like just lancing at each other.
Like kind of lunging with
And I feel like Hoodfoot does it with some sort of precaution, at least, you know. Yeah. But Slade full on goes in there, and just unfortunately, Hoodfoot's arm under kind of like near his armpit.
Just literally, you know, like just right here, the kind of the crack between your shoulder and the little bit there.
It full on it must have been a deep cut because it was absolutely gushing blood. Like it was gushing blood.
I couldn't see from the angle, because it was, you know, the first couple don't, you know, they don't really, they graze, but they're not like in.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I guess if the point is for blood, you want to be grazing, not stabbing. But it's kind of that second one. I can't tell if he turns into it and goes like in on it or what, but it goes in there, and then as you said, like every single heartbeat, it's just just pouring out. Referee goes for the tape, tries to tape it up, puts his gloves on, realizes the gloves are going to do nothing, takes the gloves off, gets the tape out. The tape will not stick to his arm because there's so much blood, just liquid pouring out. Doesn't know what to do. Everything's going mad. Slade then hits him again to keep him down over the head with a light tube. Referee again goes to tape up, and then the match had to be stopped, and it all kind of ended. GCW promoter Brett Lauderdale did take to Twitter though afterwards to clarify the situation, didn't he?
He did. He said Hoodfoot had a nasty gash, but he's okay. Wanted to go back to the ring to finish, but that's not going to happen tonight. Oh my goodness. He's headed to the hospital for a few stitches and will live to fight another day. And that just goes to show how, I mean, both men very much deathmatch aficionados. They've done it multiple times. So I feel like they've probably encountered something like this multiple times through injuries and whatnot before.
It's just the chunk of flesh that's kind of going like flop. And I'm like, just get out of the ring, man. Stop it. And but the crowds, even the crowd's just kind of like, ooh.
Yeah. Apparently, from what I've read at least anyway, apparently the whole show is pretty much really good. And this kind of took the wind out of the sails a little bit. I think as it certainly would. Yeah, of course. But just hope Hoodfoot's all right.
Yeah. Sending our best wishes to Hoodfoot in this time, because Jesus, man.
My goodness.
Yeah. Please, just look after yourself,
please,
man. Please. And now we're going over to the Jeff Hardy situation now. Obviously, Jeff Hardy arrested and charged with DUI, but PW Insider are reporting now that they've acquired Jeff Hardy's not guilty plea. And so that means, obviously, he said not guilty to the charges. The plea reads, defendant Jeffrey Nero Hardy, pursuant to rules 3.16 brackets A, Florida Rules of Criminal Procedure, waives arraignment by filing this written plea of not guilty. Defendant further waives the right to be present at all pre-trial conferences. Now, Hardy is currently in treatment, according to AEW President Tony Khan, who made the announcement last week during a media call to promote AEW X New Japan Forbidden Door. But trying to make some sense of it, we were, because, you know, it was like, can you really put in a not guilty plea? There was, you know, I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen the video of the, you know, the arrest, and potentially the video of what was reported to have been the night before. You know, so it just didn't really make much sense to us, but we were kind of doing a scout around, and we came across an interesting little back and forth on Reddit. Somebody posted the story to Squared Circle And there was the user Ikosoko said, while on paper he should plead guilty, this is apparently common practice and is usually advised by any decent lawyer in order to see if they can get a plea deal for their client or to see if there's a mess up somewhere that they can fight over that's pretty rare for most DUI cases, which, Reddit, take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, of course.
But this was backed up by another user, again, pinch of salt, because, we don't know who these people are. But at the same time, it was backed up by a user called MoxMachine1, who claims to have represented clients in DUI cases in Florida. And they said, pleading not guilty at the first court appearance where a plea is to be entered is almost always, I guess around 99% of DUI cases, the case. The main reason for this is by the first court date, defense lawyers rarely have what is called discovery, which is a copy of all reports, videotapes, dashboard cameras, etc., apparently, that the prosecutor and police have. Now, responsible defense attorneys will almost always want to view all of the evidence and review it with the client before being able to advise them on the benefits and downfalls of a specific plea agreement. So again, take that with a pinch of salt.
Yep.
Because in no way am I a legally minded person. Not even our laws. And so, like, America's laws, the size of your country is terrifying. There must be many, many, many scary laws there. But yeah, it's sort of, this seems to make sense though, doesn't it? If this is kind of the standard that, maybe I think he went on to say that, most people representing DUI cases are handling many DUI cases at once. And so they may not have had a chance to have even looked over the case. So it's just a case of kind of, it buys time to then be able to review everything, to be able to then move forward with everything. So I guess it's odd as a headline. It's odd to look at, and it's odd to kind of like, how can that be said? But I guess if it's in a legal sense, if it allows time to be bought in order for the case to be properly reviewed, then it does make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you've absolutely nailed it on the head there.
So thank you very much to users MoxMachine1 and Ikosoko for just putting a bit of clarity on that on the subreddit. But just best wishes again to Jeff Hardy through the recovery. And yeah,
absolutely.
Moving forward, we are going over to the WWE side of the fence, where we've got a former college football player making his debut tonight.
Ooh, we've got Hank Walker, whose real name is, as me and Sam both thought, Joe Scunthorpe, but it's not. It's Skullthorpe. I have gone to Scunthorpe Music Festival. John, you are good at sunglasses. Hank Walker, Joe Skullthorpe, my goodness, that's hard to say, will debut on NXT Level Up tonight, facing Channing Stacks Lorenzo. Unfortunately, 2 times. R.I.P. Walker signed with WWE as part of the Performance Center recruits class in March. And WWE.com, they bigged him up too. They said a 6'2", 305-pound force. Joseph Skullthorpe was an NCAA All-Conference offensive lineman at NC State before signing with the Atlanta Falcons as an undrafted free agent. Originally from Hampstead, NC, Skullthorpe, we'll get there eventually, was a high school state heavyweight wrestling champion. And again, as we said in the last video, it just goes to show that WWE very much putting a lot of stock behind sort of former athletes, whether that's football or from other realms.
Look, if I ran a wrestling company and I was able to get hold of an NCAA / NFL offensive lineman, I'd be all over that. Have you seen the size of them?
They are huge.
They're the ones that just smash into each other at the front and stop each other getting to the quarterback and stuff.
And they're just dead fast as well, right?
They're just like
really
very,
athletic.
very quick, short distance speed. Like when you watch the combine, it's like the 40-yard dash, and it's all like short distance burst speed. But like, big guys move deceptively quick for their size and are able to just plant themselves and knock anybody down. I
just love it. I love it, right? When a big beefy boy runs the ropes, but they just look like a bulldozer doing so as well.
And it's it's almost like effortless bulldozer. Like, how are you doing this? Like Vader.
So we'll see how that goes for our Joseph on NXT Level Up tonight against Channing Lorenzo.
We're finishing things off with some good news today, and it is that we have a WWE Hall of Famer making their backstage return. And who is it, Andrew?
It's testify, everybody.
I need a shoebox with a chain on it.
Dude, I was supposed to like spit. Well, I'll do the thing where you like go. I'll testify it's Devon Dudley, if you hadn't already guessed. He tweeted, "This past Tuesday night was the first time back at work since my back injury that took me out last October. Feeling great and glad to be back, but even more glad to be back in my new role in NXT.
Ooh.
Love working with the new talent now. I thank God for this opportunity."
Yeah, I mean, he had his L4, L5, and L6 spinal segments fused, apparently, during last October's surgery. And he was told that he wouldn't be able to wrestle again. But at that point, he was like, well, I don't really mind. I don't really want to wrestle again. And he last wrestled in 2016. So, you know, it wasn't like a hard thing for him to hear, maybe, that he wouldn't be able to step in the ring again. But he's moved from a producer role, I guess main roster producer role, into NXT coach. So, Devon's somebody who already runs a wrestling school. I don't know if it's still open, but it was him and Bubba ran a wrestling
Team
school.
3D Academy, I think it was called.
He also had a milkshake business, I believe.
What?
And I think his name was like 3D Milkshake. It was something.
That's cool.
But yeah, so he's somebody that has experience in training people so far.
Yeah.
He's somebody that we know has an unbelievable amount of knowledge about tag team wrestling, at the very least, to impart on people.
Yeah.
And, you know, that the God tier selling, it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be so good.
Yeah, just happy for him.
Absolutely. He just seems like someone who wants to give back to the younger generation, you know, which is really nice to see. I remember him talking about the sort of 2016 run he had with Bubba back in WWE. And sort of like the contrast between he and Bubba. I think Bubba was like, oh, we should be positioned higher on the card and maybe have like tag team runs, and Devon was like, I get that, but I think at the same time we need to be giving back and putting over these younger talents and whatnot. So I think he's very much got the mind of trying to help these,
paying it forward,
right?
And I guess that when you get into the industry, I'm sure that most people, if they get somebody that trains them, they want to be able to impart the same sort of training on somebody else, and it's sort of like a thing that's passed on, right? If you are one of those talents that becomes a trainer, you kind of want to impart all of the good stuff you've ever learned and just pay that forward, because you're going to save somebody so much hassle and so much bother, and they don't have to go through all the mistakes you went through because you can just tell them about it.
And that's it. And what's better? What a better person to do it than Devon? You know, he just seems like a lovely dude.
So best of luck in the new role there, Devon. Thank you all for watching. We might be back later with some more news, we don't know, but what are we up to later, Andrew?
Oh my goodness, Sam, we're playing through the WWE Money in the Bank 2022 card on WWE 2K22 today on YouTube at 3 p.m.
It'll be like any time around now, right?
Well, probably
by the time this goes out.
What? Get yourselves over. He'll beat me. He's dead good. He says he's not, but he is.
I just mash buttons, if I'm being honest.
It's the best way to do it.
Thank you for making it more button mashy this year. It's great. Bye.
Bye.